Hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. It's been a very long time since I sat down and did my makeup. I know I say this a lot, but it really has been a long time. I actually had a very different video planned for you. I wanted to show you all the new launches and stuff I haven't tried before, which I will. In today's video, I'll show bits and pieces of those. But I just got inspired to do a renewed do's and don'ts video. I have done this multiple times in the past, but it's been a long time and we have come a long way. It's 2024. We're nearing the end of this year. I feel like so many products have launched in the market since then, and a lot of techniques have changed. The way we do our makeup changed, times have changed. So I just wanted to renew that. And so I have seen a lot of you come up to me and say, Miles, I learned makeup because of you, and whatever I know is because of you. Let me be honest, I'm very nervous when you guys say that, because sometimes, which is very few times by the way, thank God, I look at your makeup and I'm like, oh, you learned that for me, you know, because sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really off. And maybe I might have done, because y'all still watch my older videos and learn from me and use all those techniques till today. So yes, it's not like anyone's at fault. It's just that the times were old and I feel like y'all still might be using that video to sort of reference how to do your makeup. And it's just not blending with the times, you know. So when I see glowy, fresh makeup, I'm just like, you have learned this from me. I know a Miles makeup when I see a Miles makeup. Okay, so I'm in my 30s. I'm 32 years old. You can see like deeper, darker circles. I'm just a tired human in general. I'm a toddler mom. Apart from that, I feel like I just want to like liven this face up. And I love how my makeup looks these days. Lesser the better. So I feel like a lot of times when I see girls around, I see very heavy, cakey makeup, and heavy makeup sort of ages you. Okay, so I see like 17, 18-year-olds look like they're 27, 28. I don't know if you're going for that kind of a look. Always adding more, giving more definition and structure will age you a little bit. Having blurred lines, blending it out more, softer application, lesser makeup makes you look more youthful. Okay, so it really is how you apply your makeup. So I have a lot of makeup here, which is a mix of, I'm trying to find drugstore. Yeah, there are some drugstore, but a lot of high end. I'm just a high end girly now. I'm sorry. I just moved to the high end category. When I do find a great affordable makeup, I just tell you guys about it. Like Kiro is something that I love. I've been using a lot of Kiro glosses and their cheek tints and all of that. So I do like a lot of drugstore, but they're very less. The way your makeup looks has to do a lot with the products, yes, but more so with how you use those products and the techniques you use on it. Okay, so today if you give me a full face of Miss Claire, I guarantee you I can make it work. If you give me Blue Heaven or any sort of under 200 rupee makeup, I can make that makeup work because I know my techniques. I know how much to use on my face. My right side is going to be my don't and my left side is going to be my do. So first we're going to go in with moisturizer. So this is an amazing moisturizer. This is the Embryolisse Lait-Creme Concentrate. Multifunction. It is fabulous. I recently worked with them. Look at this, it's become chapta. I've been using them so much lately. So I'm just going to put that all over my face, okay, because that's just a general rule, is to moisturize your face. Whatever moisturizer you want to use, you can go ahead and use that, whatever's best suited for your skin. Now there is something known as over priming, okay? It's a thing. Some people go ahead and put on too many steps before their foundation, which I do not recommend, because it is just going to make your makeup slip and slide and you're going to look oily throughout the day, which we don't want. We want to look glowy, not oily. Okay, there's a difference. So now that I have one veil of moisturizer, you can see how plump and glowy my skin already looks. That is what this cream does. It is so good. So you can use this, you can use your Kiehl's, Charlotte Tilbury. So many brands have moisturizers that are meant for before makeup, and if you have a moisturizer that just works for you and your foundation, go for that. Next up, what I like to do is use some illuminator. So I like the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. This is the one I use. This is the shade 3 Light Medium. Now there are ways you can use this. Now this is my don't side, okay? So I'm just gonna over apply stuff, okay? And then we just like blend it. My God, I'm already cringing right now. And some people apply this all over their face, under eye, all over. This is not meant to be used as a moisturizer. So it's like over oily and over glowy. So what I do with the cream is basically just apply this on the high points of my face, on the outer perimeters. That is what I will do, just here to bring the glow and keep it there. Third is what you want to do is sort of tackle your problematic areas with primer. So either you want a pore minimizing primer, pore filling primer. You have oily skin, so oil controlling primer. That's where you're going to start applying those primers. So I have a bunch of options. The e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer is one of my favorites. the Porefessional by Benefit, and then there is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead with the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer today, and it's silicone free actually, and it's so nice. So on my do side, I'm just going to sort of mattify the areas that I think need some mattifying and pore filling. So over here, I'm just gonna skip primer because a lot of people do skip primers, which you can, but I feel like it just helps. It creates that beautiful barrier. I just neatened up my hair because it was bothering me so much. I have really curly hair right now. I'm not blow dried it, so I'm trying to like hide the baby hair away. We're gonna move on to the next step now, which is base. Okay, foundation. This is important. What foundation you use is important, but it really depends again on your personal preference. I'm not gonna tell you you have to buy this, you definitely need this. It is really subjective. It depends on your skin type as well. If you're oily, you will use a matte foundation. If you're normal skin, you can use whatever you want. So I like a bunch of foundations, man. You guys know, all throughout my channel, you know my favorite foundations. Okay, I prefer stick foundations these days, but recently I came across the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. Guys, it is amazing. It's got 1.5% niacinamide. I'm in the shade Latte 300N. It's a spot on match and it is beautiful. This is the kind of foundation that anybody can use, like oily skin, dry skin. It is just beautifully blurring out, and it has a lot of hype and it deserves the hype. You know what I mean? Oh, when it comes to brushes, I have so many brushes to the point where the names have been rubbed off of it. I've been using this for 10 plus years. So this is the face base brush by Huda Beauty itself. So any dome shaped brush like this, sort of like a stiff brush, is what is better to apply foundation. I have personally stopped using beauty sponges. I don't know why. I just gravitated towards just brushes because I understood how to use them. So I'm gonna take 300N. This is the color. It is so spot on. That is a perfect match. So on my don't side, I'm gonna go ham. Okay, that's what some people do because they want to cover all that imperfection they feel like they have, which is okay. Like I said, again, depends on your skin type, but this is a lot of foundation. You do not need so much foundation on your face. Okay, I'm gonna take another brush to blend this out. This is the Rare Beauty brush. A lot of people go under their eye with foundation. Not good. You don't need foundation under your eye because it's just an additional layer on top of concealer. Why are you putting more product on your face? Okay, my foundation is sort of like too much right now. It's a lot. It's too full coverage to the point where, you know, it's feeling very unnatural to me. But the foundation is so beautiful. It is so beautiful that it is looking flawless. That's flawless. It's the don't side, but it's flawless. Blame the foundation. How I would typically add foundation is I will just go 2-3 drops. Okay, it's such a perfect match, you can barely see it, and then you want to take your brush and sort of blend it all over. Even if you have problematic areas, no problem, put a little bit more there, but you want to make sure you are pushing the product in by doing dabbing motions like this. Pat it all in. And I'm just going to go around my dark circles. I'm not going to go underneath my eye because I want to keep that plain. I don't want to put product over there. Whatever's remaining on my brush, I will just dab onto my forehead. There is a lot of foundation. 3-4 drops are enough to cover your whole face. It really is. So if you don't want to go too glowy, too matte, these are like perfect foundations to use, which are soft, matte. My face looks gorgeous because of this foundation. But it is like bunching up over here because of the over excess of foundation. I'm sure you can't see it right now, but it is like collecting under my nose. I have seen that a lot of times when I meet people as well, that the foundations have collected here. Okay, collected here. So we want to avoid that. The technique you want to use is push, just buff and pat, bring it down as much as you can. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, now it looks meshed into my skin. It looks like my skin still, and here it just looks like heavy. I can feel it. So I'm done with my foundation. Now again, concealer is super personal. Everybody has their favorite concealer, their go-to concealer that they want. Just make sure your concealer is not making you look gray. A lot of times we Indians struggle with this because of our pigmentation. Okay, so there are certain brands that do really good concealers, but they're expensive. Like Huda Beauty does fabulous concealers. It's worth the hype, it's worth the money. One Size Beauty does really good concealers because all of these brands have a lot of shades. That's why I'm mentioning these. Fenty Beauty has so many shades, NARS has so many shades, so that is why I'm mentioning these brands. Okay, some of the more affordable ones have 6-7 shades, which are not enough, and hence they make you look ashy and gray. A lot of times people go in with a very light concealer. When you go in with base products, a lot of you want to look more fair, a lot of you want to up your skin tone, a lot of you want to brighten your under eyes so much to the point where it just looks really ashy and it looks chalky. Okay, so I'm using this e.l.f. hydrating camo concealer. This is very light for me, but this is in light sand, and I just want to show you what people do generally, which is a don't do this. It's not required. Now I already have foundation under here, so that is one layer, and then I'm just going in with 2016 vibe. Okay, some people do just one concealer. Your face is not one tone. Your under eye is different, your cheeks are different here. Some people have pigmentation on the forehead. So you're gonna have to mix and match and see what shade are you using where. I know makeup can be confusing and difficult, but as we go ahead, we practice, we swatch, we try. It's all about practicing and getting it right. Okay, so now on this side, which is my do side, I'm taking the Fenty Beauty concealer. This is the Wear Even concealer. I'm in the shade 260N, and all I'm gonna do is go to the inner corner and just leave that dot there. Okay, that's all I require. So I'm gonna take this brush. This is by Pro Art AF87. Okay, any sort of soft brush will do, and I'm just going to sort of pat it out. Just dab it. Concealing means concealing what you don't want to show. So concealing your shadows, concealing your darkness on the face, anything that you feel you want to sort of hide is what you will use concealer for. I don't have any acne or scarring. Suppose if I have acne here or here, I'm just showing you, you will take a concealer that is very close to your skin tone. It has to be like your foundation shade, exactly like that. Okay, you will not use a brighter concealer to conceal first. That's not what you do. So this is what you'll do if you have acne spot. You will just dab that part, or you will take a brush and you will just go over that acne scar and make sure the redness is gone. You know, redness, darkness, you can cancel these out by using similar tone concealers to your face. It has to be like your skin. You're evening out your skin. That is what base is all about. And now on this side, I'm using just one concealer, right? This is what sometimes we do because we are so scared of showing our dark circles. Sometimes we just want to copy people we admire, and sometimes that doesn't work. I feel like Kylie is gorgeous, but she makes herself look very old. Like, she is so young, but she makes herself look like late 30s, which I don't know, man, why she does that. It's a lot of contouring, lot of concealing. So this is heavy, cakey, it's too bright. Just for effect, I want to show you what more concealing looks like. So like this, and people will do this on the skin, on the chin, down here sometimes. So again, some people like to brighten their chin. Very 2016. Under here, the jawline, which is a good thing to do, but there's a time and place for it. Okay, so I have over concealed on purpose. I know not many people do this, but I'm exaggerating for effect. So I have like gunked up my face. Yes, it has covered all my dark circles, but it's also very, very heavy. Okay, it is not natural looking. Makeup is, yes, to have fun, but also to kind of look like yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in with my brush here, and I will just go over my lid as well to sort of cancel out the blueness. So there's still some darkness. I want to slightly brighten it and highlight my under eye. It's a good look, but at the point where it's just two dots. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer Medium 1 Custard. I'm just going to dab the inner corner. That's mostly where I do it. And I'm going to leave that concealer on for a bit. Okay, and then we're going to blend it all out because that just helps with more coverage. Again, you want to go mostly to the inner corner because that's where the darkness is. And then look up and push the product upwards as well. And stay towards the inner corners. Just stay here, okay, in a triangle way. Natural, beautiful. I put two concealers, but it's just looking like one concealer. Huda has launched new powders in this cutesy packaging. It is so cute. Okay, this is in the shade Banana Bread. This is the Easy Bake. And I also have one Pound Cake, which is by Huda. And then I have another one, which is my favorite. Lots of great high-end powders in the market. Another favorite of mine is the Givenchy Prisme Libre, which is almost over. I love this powder. This is my go-to. And it is worth the hype. It is worth how my base looks every single day. I will keep buying this because it looks like $1,000,000. And I'm going to take something like this. Okay, this is the Code Beauty Triangle Sponge, but this is available on Amazon dime a dozen. Very cool sponge, and you know those puffs our mothers used to use? It's come back, darling. Okay, we just need this much powder. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set my brow. Set my brow and lid. I need my brow area to be a little dry when I'm applying my eyebrow product. I don't want wet foundation highlighter brows because it's gonna slip and slide, okay? So make sure you're mattifying your brows a little bit with loose powder. Now for brows, again, my favorite go-to product. It's the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. It is gorgeous. This is in the shade 5. How do we do brows here on the don't side, okay? I know a lot of times my brows look very boxy, but I'm just gonna go all out and show you what actual boxy looks like. So again, when I see brows again, very personal, subjective. When I see brows on people, that's the first thing that stands out in a lot of girls. It looks too harsh, and sometimes people like thick brows, so they will just extend this. I've seen a lot of brows, you guys. I've seen a lot of brows, and it can get very, very, very heavy. You don't need it. So here, mostly people draw like a straight line, which I also do. But this is too harsh, okay? Filling it in all the way in the center. Okay, so somehow people, that looks pretty good, but it's boxy, it's over exaggerated. You just want to slightly define and fill in the bald spots, okay, or the gaps of your existing brow. So for me, that is just this part. Can you see this part? There's a lot of like gaps which I want to even out with my brow pencil. So I'll be doing the same thing. I'm just drawing a straight line, but I'm putting very less pressure on the pencil, and I'm sort of just pulling this out, making bigger strokes like that upwards. Every time I do a stroke, I'm just gonna brush it out so it looks very natural. Okay, so almost done. You just want to spend, I have a lot of hair, so it's kind of like, I just got to get the outline right, nothing else. A lot of people draw their brows from scratch, so that can get a little complicated, I understand. But all you want to do is sort of like mimic your existing brow, just filling it in, just giving it volume. This is what boxy brows are. A lot of people tell me this is a boxy brow. I'm like, that is not a boxy brow. It's just that I have a lot of hair and I define my brows, which I like a good defined brow. And now we're gonna move on to, so these again, it's like the same product, but I'm using it so differently. Do you see? Okay, I'm taking the Precisely My Brow wax and I'm just gonna overcoat this and push this back. Same thing here. I'm just gonna brush diagonal and down, diagonal and down. See, it's already creasing so badly because I have so much product on there. Now for contouring, I have many options: powder, cream, liquid, whatever you like to use, go for it. I like to use a combination of cream and powder, and still my face does not look very oily or very matte. It looks right matte where it has to be, glowy where it has to be, and that's where the magic lies. I'm going to be taking the, again, Fenty Beauty Mocha 5. Instead of putting this directly on the face and moving my foundation, I like to dab my contour on the brush. This is the PAC Face S1 brush. It's a more denser brush. Do you see this? Okay, and when I say dense, pay attention. Pay attention. When I say dense, I mean it's more like rigid as opposed to something like this, which is so bendy. Okay, this is not one you want to use cream contour with. This is a very loose brush. This is meant for powder stuff. Cream stuff, it's better you use a more sturdier brush with a lot of bristles. Do you see this ear, upper ear? Okay, just follow that. Do you see this cheekbone? You can feel this cheekbone here. Hard cheekbone. That's where you want to start. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Just blend it out. I always pat, so please continue patting. Okay, I'll do a little bit on my temple, not a lot. And for jawline, I will just do like slightly over here. So contouring basically means, you know, right? It's diminishing the parts you don't want to see. Again, it's like defining it. So if I want my jaw to be defined, I'll put more contour and I'll sort of like blend it all around like that, just to give a nice shadow. And yeah, contours to like sink in the face. You know, you want to narrow down your face and not make it wider. Okay, so this is the kind of contouring I like to do. I do not like to over contour, at least with my cream stuff. Okay, so what using fluffier brushes can do. Okay, so again, this is the NARS brush. For the don't side, number 3, as we've been taught, and I used to do that, but I stopped. And just people love to contour, right? So they'll bring it lower than their jaw. Okay, very naturally they blend it, because this is where contour usually goes. Okay, so a lot of times people contour here. Do you see this? here, yahan pe they contour, which is what we were always taught. What we're doing in this process is A, we're using the wrong brush because it's too fluffy and bendy. We have no control over it. It's just flying away everywhere. Secondly, we're like diminishing this whole area, which sometimes people like to do, but it's very animated and stuff you use for photo shoots or films, or it's not very natural makeup process when you're in regular life. This is done when you're just trying to achieve a certain character, a certain kind of look. Okay, so this is me absolutely like going all out and contouring. Okay, all right, so for blush, many options in the market. Oh my gosh, the market is filled with amazing cream blushes. K Beauty has an amazing blush, the Mousse one. Kiro has beautiful blushes and tints, and Benefit has a lot of tints. Fenty Beauty has great cream blushes. The Charlotte Tilbury, another fantastic blush. I love blushes. I can go on and on about blushes. Nudies Matte Glow Core All Over Face Blush Color. It's from Nudestix in the shade Pink Ice. I love that it has like a shimmer in the middle. It's the Drugstore Company 03. Drugstore Company, very good. They have good brushes. Again, I'm not going to go directly. I'm going to tap it on my brush. It's the best way to use cream products, or you can use your finger. Now, when it comes to blush, you want to apply it here, where my contour is, right above. Up. And pull under. Sitting high and nice and youthful and glowy. I'm going to take the Benefit tint and I'm just going to add a drop. This is the Flora tint by Benefit. Same brush, and I'm just going to blend it out. It just makes it look so smooth and youthful, right? You can go underneath your eye if you want, just like blend it like that. The whole point is to make sure you are like, literally, there is no line, boss. There is no demarcation line that you can very starkly see. The contour is where it's at. The blush is right above the contour. There is nothing below this area of my skin. Can you see? It's just foundation. This is filled with contour. Let's say, again, mismatch of color, for example. There are color combinations that just don't sit well together, and you just know that doesn't work. So this is a coral blush. Again, I'm just going to be using a bigger brush like this. Yeah, I'm just going to tap and I'm going to go. People do blush, no, like this. They do cheeks. Sometimes it's excess. Can you tell the difference between both these sides already? This is so much more droopier and heavier and pulling my face down. And this is so much more lifted up. And I'm going to show you, even powdering is what's going to tie this whole look together. Powder is where it's at. You have to invest in a great loose powder. I cannot stress this enough. Like, if you want fantastic makeup that lasts all day, does not budge and gives you a youthful look, loose powder is where you're at. You're missing out on the best loose powders in the market. Maybelline Fit Me has a good powder, but again, it seemed very heavy for me over time. Givenchy, Huda Beauty, the best powders. If you find a sale on Nykaa, Tira, that's where you have to go and just get these powders. It lasts me 6+ months and I do makeup very often. It's gonna last you like more than a year. So I'm gonna take the banana, the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Banana Bread just for, this is a fantastic powder. Also, a lot of people use compact powders to set their face. Sorry, but it's a no-no from my side. It's a complete no. It's a disaster. Using compact powders to set concealer or set base is not the way to go, in my humble opinion. Many people do use it, but I do not. A compact powder is great to go over top of your loose powder maybe, or just to touch up your face when you're out and about. Do not use compact powders to set your base. I'm gonna take and blend all this heavy concealer that I have right now. I'm gonna use techniques where people just use brushes to set their under eye. It's such a good loose powder. Okay, this, and then set their whole face, thinking that it will lock it in place, and then they let it go. It's feeling so heavy, like I can feel the crepiness of all of this makeup and cream just like falling. Huda Beauty's powder is flawless. It's making my don't side look amazing and blurred out, but mattifying your entire face just makes your makeup look flat. Even if you're an oily skin, you want to keep that a little bit alive. You want to keep the glow a little bit alive so your face looks a little bit dewy and beautiful in general. Alright, and you can use your Givenchy powder, but I'm going to use the same brand, Huda Beauty, to show you that the powder is fab. You want to take this puff. I'm picking up the powder, I'm removing the excess, and all I'm going to do is set. I'm setting only this part. Do not go beyond on your cheek. Don't do it. Don't do it. Set only your under eye and nose. Did you see I did not touch my cheek? Again, I'm going to take some more powder and I'm just going to place it here and bake for a bit. Okay, we'll push that in some seconds. Baking may not work for you, but it is the best technique for longevity of makeup and concealer and non-creasing. Seal it in. Okay, this matters. This crease, you start sweating and the makeup breaks apart. You don't want that to happen. So make sure you are like setting it all. So now when it comes to layering, after this, I like to layer powder products. That helps with the longevity of my cream products. If I leave it like this, it's going to fade away very soon. So I like to lock my makeup in with powder contour and powder blush. I just like to do it. You don't have to do it. But the fact that I use such less product over here, I can use more products. Here, I will look very heavy. Okay, so this is like one of the best palettes. Honestly, I carried this to Rome and this is all I used. Benefit Hoola Beach Vacay palette. It's got the perfect contour and the perfect blush just right there for you. Something like this. This is the Il Maquillage brush. It's sort of like an angle loose brush because we're using powder. So we can afford to use a loose brush. I'm going to tap into the Hoola and I'm just going to sort of again re-contour. Okay. And go over here as well. You can re-contour. You can use a warmer shade to bronze up. I don't like to go too red. Contouring again, jawline. And bronzers are meant to be this color and warmer and sun-kissed, but again you have to use it very sparingly. You can't, if you use it very heavily, it's just gonna look over exaggerated. Guerlain bronzer, because this is a very exaggerated warm bronzer and I love this bronzer. Okay, it's the Guerlain terracotta bronzer. I love it. I've had it for years. I refuse to throw this away even though it's expired, I'm sure. Okay, so mostly people do temple, very heavy on the temple, very patchy, very sandy. Okay, again, bronzing is like to go heavy-handed because I see a lot of faces with heavy red contour or red bronzer. Okay, this defeats the purpose because it makes it look heavy and ashy and muddy. And then heavy on the nose as well. Again, using a red bronzer is not the right thing when it comes to contouring the face. And I'm just going to draw a stark line here from my eyebrow to my nose. Just to exaggerate and show you that it is a very stark line. And the more I take it from my brow to down, the more it is like a little masculine. Okay, it's a masculine straight structure that you're sort of building. Okay, blending it a little bit so it looks normal. And then over here, I like to use again a powder blush. So I'm going to take the Dior blush. Okay, this is beautiful. It is the Rosy Glow in Rosewood. And I'm taking again a very spoofy loose brush because it's a powder. All I'm going to do is place it at the high cheek. I'm lifting up mostly towards the temple area. That's all I'm going to do. I'm taking my puff and I'm just like pushing my powder in. Once again, this is a new technique I've discovered and love. I don't dust away the excess. I push the excess back into my eye. I don't know. I discovered this and it works brilliantly. I discovered it. I just know that I've not seen anyone else do this. I've done it myself. Okay. So again, beautiful, gorgeous. It is set. I still prefer my Givenchy. Okay, it's lesser and lighter. This is slightly heavy, I can see, slightly. So when it comes to contouring the nose again, I'll go back to my Hoola itself and I will just, either you can go in your crease. And when I say crease, it's the hollow part of your eye. And all you're going to do is like bring it down from there. Draw a straight line. My brush is shedding, you guys. And if you want to cut off the tip over, if you have a longer tip, you just want to cut it off at the bottom. Build a butter nose. Okay, so it really depends nose to nose. Sometimes people don't like to contour. That's also okay. This is the Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette in Bijoux Brilliance eyeshadow palette. Wow, it's just gorgeous neutral colors. Alright, so now I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush which is bendy. I'm gonna pick this neutral color right here. And then you just wanna go in. Such a beautiful neutral color, dude. Again, I personally don't like to use a lot of eyeshadow. I just love just softer looks in general. So again, soft. Okay, again, I'm gonna take a different brush. I'm gonna use the same and I'm just going to do this assuming this is what people do. Okay, just keeping it there and using like darker colors all over the lid. This is only for smoky eyes. Everyday ke liye this is not the look to go for. Okay? This looks like a delicious shimmer. I'm playing with shimmers after so long. I'm just gonna stamp it here and sort of like, wow, this is beautiful, ma'am. I was not expecting to play with shimmer, but I could not help myself. And it's a great eyeshadow palette. This is like fab. This is not meant for the eyeshadows, most to show you the base. Eyeshadows, again, very like whatever you want to do sort of a scene. Eyeliner. They're real extreme precision liner. Sort of do this. Why is it turning out so nice? Okay, so like this, and then there's a wing, like the Nike tick. It doesn't suit my face shape. Okay, so if you do want to do a liner, what I do is I start from the middle. Okay, now this is tricky. Do you see this flap? This flap. You want to look straight, and I'm not going to cross this. Otherwise, my liner is going to bend. You're not going to see my liner. So I'm going to draw a straight line. Okay, so do you see that you can still see a very straight line? It's not hidden in my folds. Okay, so that is great. Where this fold ends, you see where this fold ends? You don't want to bring your liner there and high. This is not where you will draw your liner. You want to bring it to the edge of your eye. You know where your almond ends, your almond eye shape, it ends, take it to that corner and then lift it up. Okay, it has to lift outside the eye. I hope I'm making sense, yeah. The more straighter you draw it, the more like, you know, chic. As opposed to this looks good only. On some people it looks very nice. It just doesn't suit my eye shape. It's a way, but it's not my preferred way. That's what I'm saying. I would go as tiny as this baby wing, just to have some elongation to the eye. Color Chemistry Kajal. This is the Intense Matte Finish. And this is the KJ02. It's just a brown kajal. And if you want to put kajal, just put like a brown kajal. And what I would do is I would stop right here. I don't go all the way in again. I just stop halfway just to give that intensity. So nice and sultry and smoky. Are you kidding me? That is gorgeous. Okay, and over here, I'm going with the Stark Deep Kajal just to exaggerate it. Okay, I'm taking the MAC Graphic Black, really good liner. So in my opinion, kajal and liner is a little bit heavy. Some people like to go all the way in and out. I feel like liner and kajal doesn't suit everyone and it's kind of heavy, but it really depends on what you like. Okay, so for me, this is like the perfect amount of kajal and liner I like to use. I don't put heavy falsies. My lashes are very weak at the moment, so I'm skipping it. Brush at the root and pull it up. This is the Lash Sensational by Maybelline. I've started putting castor oil on my lashes because my lashes have taken a hit. It's just not good. I didn't put powder blush here. That sounds like I was missing a powder blush. Sorry, I'm going to take the powder blush by Benefit only and a very fluffy brush, and I'm just going to smile. That's what all makeup artists usually say during weddings. Smile. Too much. And then we want to do, what do we want to do? Highlighter. Now, if you'd like to, my skin it's looking nice and glowy here, so you can skip highlighter. I'm taking Jacqueline's Iced Highlighter, Jacqueline Cosmetics. My god, I just applied the least amount of product. That's it. Like just tiny bits. When you hit the light, it just looks beautiful. I have seen stark lines like this, okay, just like prominent. Mostly people bring it to their cheek. If you have smooth poreless cheeks, if you're 20 or 18, then it's a great idea. But if you have a lot of pores, you're going to exaggerate your pores unless you don't mind it. Okay, so again, a stark highlighting over here, which is what I used to do in 2016. Stark highlighting above the brow bone, underneath the eye. This is very, very, very old school and not to be replicated in real life, darling. I didn't even do my bottom eyeshadow. I just put kajal over there. A lot of people like to smoke out their under eye, which is a great thing, but I think it gets a bit heavy and much. Okay, for lips, I'm taking the Low Key FOMO by Masaba. So many people don't line their lips. I don't understand it. I'm just like, I don't know what do you mean? What do you mean you don't own a lip liner? So again, it will be like this. And when it comes to this side, I'm taking the Shop and Drop by Masaba again, and I'm going to sort of light soft brown colors is where it's at when it comes to contouring the lips. Okay, so if you want to exaggerate, make it poutier, all of that, a cool tone brown is where it's at. So you see slight overlining here. I'm taking Makeup by Mario Kate. It's a soft pink color. And now, yes, you can add your gloss. You can do all of it. I'm adding the Kiro Pink Petal. It's such a pretty gloss. These glosses are so gorgeous. So, again, for this side, I'm going to take the Huda Beauty Pound Cake Easy Bake. Okay, if you want to just clean up underneath, you're going to take your puff. Take the powder. Do you see this? It's everything to do with this. Where you've started to contour, that's where you will start to clean up. Now you don't have to do this every day. I'm just showing this to you as an additional step and how you can make it look sharper. This you don't do anything on and you let it be. I'm gonna take this, brush it away. So you can really see a stark difference between both the sides. This is so much more lighter area, lifted, youthful. It's still makeup. It's not like I have done less no makeup. Whether it's red carpet, whether it's whatever, I will add or remove the liner and shimmer. It really depends where you're going for. I try to do all my steps and still show you how minimal it can look. Looks lifted, looks beautiful, looks very me. All the product is sitting high up here. So obviously when you look at me like this looks so much more lifted than this. Look at this. So much more droopier, heavier. It's down. Obviously exaggerated the steps, liner and kajal. Sometimes it suits people, but I feel like it's a lot. It's very heavy. So depending on what step you think is too much in your makeup, try and like reduce one. Either wear kajal or wear liner, or wear both but stop halfway. You try shimmer, but try shimmer only on the lid and blend it out, and maybe not so starkly and halfway. So there are things you can do to sort of change your look up. Tell me down below what you want to see and I'll try like doing that for you in the duration of this entire year. So I love you and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.
Cause tonight I'm gonna take you out and live the dream that we